Well, what do you think's going to happen to the show now that Pooh is going to be taken out of the character pool?
I just want them to cancel it. It's
just
time
cancel the show entirely.
It's time to put it down. It's time to take this old dog behind the shed and put it down.
I don't think you can. I think it's beyond control. It's rides at Universal Studios. It's a huge merchandise, deals. There's too much that could be lost by canceling The Simpsons. And I feel like they're not going to do it. They're just going to wait until absolutely nobody cares. And that hasn't happened yet.
Watching The Simpsons at this point feels like listening to your old grandfather who has Alzheimer's and they can't remember anything and they don't even know who you are. It's like they're barely even a person at this point with coherent thoughts. That's what it feels like watching The Simpsons in 2018.
They're just telling that same old story that they've told you 20 times. And you're going, oh, yeah, that's right, Grandpa.
It's just sad. It's just sad. Why is the show still on the air?
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Emp, I think your comparison might come true because most of the voice actors are in their 70s now. They're probably going to actually die.
Oh,
soon.
That's a good way. That's what they need. They need like Castaneda. What's his name? Phil Castaneda?
Dan Castellaneta?
Yeah, whatever. So they need him to die, and once he does, then they can say...
Julie Kavner, whoever voices Marge, she's like 99, so I think she'll die pretty soon.
Oh, thank God.
You can hear it in Marge's voice now. You can hear how old the voice actress is in the new season.
Yeah, her voice is all raspy now.
It's horrible. Have no fears, we've got stories for years, like Marge becomes a robot. That's literally going to happen. They're going to replace the voice actress with a robot when she dies.
They already did like a Rick and Morty Simpsons couch gag, so they've already jumped the shark.
Well, I mean, the EmpLemon channel, I heard that guy did like a Pickle Rick cosplay for a video. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about jumping the shark, I don't know if we should be pointing throwing too many stones in our glass houses over here.
What fucking idiot would even associate with Pickle Rick, let alone dress up in a Pickle Rick costume and perform the pickle-ree ritual in a local McDonald's?
Well, okay, no,
That definitely sounds like something that is incredibly unbecoming of
I was thinking about this
a YouTuber
the other day,
who wants to be respected.
About these old guys who are somehow are meme lords, whether or not they know it or not. Like the people that you can pay. What's his name overseas? Big man Tyrone. I know he's foreign and all, but I feel like sometimes you see these like older dudes that are still kind of hip with the new memes. But I was thinking if one of them, if they could even comprehend what it would mean to unironically dab, or if them dabbing at all saying, well, yeah, I mean, the kids find it funny because it's a goofy thing to do, they would already be wrong about the layers of irony that it would take to unironically dab or to do some Pickle Rick high IQ meme shit. I don't know. So I think that someone younger doing a Pickle Rick and dressing up in a Pickle Rick costume isn't so bad. But once you reach that age of like 45, you cease to never be able to understand what exactly it is that you're doing.
So like about as old as you are?
Yeah, just like a couple years older than me. I'm getting up there. But I'm not too old to dress up in a Minions costume.
Okay, what they should do is make The Simpsons green, then turn up the racial stereotypes 1,000% and make the show actually racially offensive, and then I'd watch it again.
Just bring Apu back.
I mean, I don't know if Apu's actually leaving. I think they said that like he'll still appear in like big groups, but he's just not going to have a voice role anymore.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, so
they're silencing the man
because it's what, like some white guy doing the voice or whatever.
Yeah, you know, like Khan on King of the Hill being voiced by a white guy. Nobody cared about that.
Yeah, and not only did they do Khan, but he also did Cotton. I'm pretty sure it was the same dude.
Yeah, and he's not even he's not even a World War II veteran, so I think it's really offensive that he played that character.
Yeah, he's just some douchebag.
Yeah, stolen valor.
You can only play characters that are what you are in real life. That's why it's called acting. I think it's safe to say all cultures are equal. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
apparently
not safe to say.
Apparently
that's what Martin Luther King said.
Apparently not in The Simpsons, because we have to complain specifically about Apu, even though every single character is a stereotype. Because it's not like The Simpsons is some sort of satire of American culture or anything.
Well, it used to be. Now it's not really anything.
Hey, EmpLemon, can you do an impression of a poo?
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the Quickie Mart. Please do not eat the hot dogs because they're incredibly old and they have lots of nitrates.
No. They were right. This character should be banned. This is
that doesn't seem like every Quickie Mart I've ever been to. The hot dogs are fresh. They're changed out every minute.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
Dude, I got diarrhea.
They're never
from
arguing
a hot
with the
dog.
black guys that come in there.
I got the worst diarrhea of my life from a hot dog at 7-Eleven.
How do you gauge the worst diarrhea of your life?
Oh, well, it was that memorable.
Is there a rating scale? Like, yeah, you had to remember that because I've had a lot of diarrheas in my life.
Yeah. I have it every day exclusively. Have you seen my diet?
No.
Oh, hold on! She's breaking up!
Oh, you stupid son of a...
God, to go back to the fucking Apu thing. I was listening to also another golden opportunity to shit on a different podcast. The Pizza Party podcast from Rebel Taxi.
Have you been on that show before, Lemon?
No.
Oh, I've been on there.
Oh, really?
I was on episode, I think, 95.
Well, anyway, I don't know if you watched the new one about
I don't watch the show.
The Apu cancellation, but there's some progressives on the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, the main host is like trans, right?
I don't know. I don't watch. I just watched the one episode because it was a relevant issue that I was interested in. But just listening to these guys talk about the Apu thing, it just further cemented in my mind that these people have adopted an ideology where they completely abandon objectivity and they abandon treating everything as its own principle. That's the problem with these.
Well, no, what are you talking about?
People.
Explain. What were they saying about it? Like, what was their opinion on the Apu situation?
They're going over like the counter arguments for the Apu documentary, and it got brought up where they're like talking about the voice actor or whatever. Like, so Apu's voice actor is white and he's playing an Indian, and someone brought up, yeah, well, how come it's okay for the samurai voice actor to be played by a black man?
Sure.
Which is like the same. It's the same principle.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the point I'm trying to make. This ideology and this group of people are completely unprincipled.
Well, let me guess what they said. So the reason were they saying that it's not okay for fucking what's his name, to be doing a Samurai Jack? What's his name that does Samurai Jack? That no one's is black guy from Mad TV, whatever. Yeah, black guy does Samurai Jack. So are they saying it's not okay for him to do it the same way it's not okay for a white guy to play an Indian character, or were they saying that it is okay?
No, they don't. They don't have a problem with the Samurai Jack, but for some reason they have a problem with the Apu.
Sure,
and
because they're minorities in the country of which the cartoon dwells.
The defense they used was that Indians are marginalized, quote unquote.
Yeah, marginalized.
They're a marginalized group.
Not globally, motherfucker. There's 1.2 billion of those motherfuckers. There's only like a billion of us.
They run most
of
these.
Nice try, buddy. I think on a global scale. You globalists, when I talk about marginalized communities, look at the white people. There's more Asians than anybody else, motherfucker. You lost your own game again. I almost said the N-word there.
I heard it. I heard your sentence end with an N.
And I was
sound.
like, never mind.
That's it.
This is not the show to drop the N-bomb. I'll save that for a rainy day.
Well, just
cool.
the simple premise that Indian people in America, because that's what the argument is. The Simpsons is an American show. The whole point of the documentary against it was that it created poor stereotypes for Indian people growing up in America.
Right. But then they can't name what those stereotypes are.
The concept that Indian people in America are somehow a marginalized group, when statistically, Indian people in America have among the highest standard of living and the highest average income of any ethnic group.
Is that true?
Indians? I thought it was.
I'm fairly certain it's true.
I thought it was female African Americans.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is, the Indians that wind up in America are some of the smartest and most industrious people from India, and they emigrate from India to America.
So they don't all shit in the street.
Well, they try, but we teach them not to.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying the most elite members of India's society emigrate to America because there's better standard of living, and they occupy high skill jobs like doctors and engineers. And as a whole, this ethnic group is doing far better than pretty much any other ethnic group. So to claim that Indian people are somehow marginalized you would literally have to be pulling at straws that somehow because they're brown, so brown people equals poor, and poor people marginalized the institutional racism.
Yeah, it's just white guilt. It's people trying to use another race and tell them that they're disparaged and use what they tell you their disparagement is and their marginalization is so that they can get some sort of clout points with their faggy friends.
But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that the people who somehow adopt this ideology, that somehow a white guy voicing Apu is not okay and a black guy voicing Samurai Jack is okay, they are completely unprincipled. They don't compare apples to apples because they have adopted a completely pseudo-intellectual ideology that just completely makes up terms and variables to give people privilege points and to give other people oppression points.
But let's throw him a bone here. So when Phil, what's his name, does the voice of Samurai Jack, he's not going, "I am Samurai Jacku. I will fight you now." As the guy who's doing the voice of Apu is going, "Bata bata bata. I am. My name is Apu and bibbidi boo." Like Samurai Jack, that's just the voice of the voice actor that Samurai Jack sounds like. You know, he's not really sounding like an old Japanese samurai.
Regardless. Max G in his video brought up how Super Mario, an Italian, is played by a white guy.
And as we all know, Italians are not white.
Well, still though, you can classify them as an ethnic. They're their own culture. They have a rich heritage. They're immigrants from.
They have a very poor heritage. They're all from Sicily, and they smell bad. And they didn't even make spaghetti. The Chinese did.
Anyway,
so they can come over here.
Whatever.
They can come over here in the early 1900s, and they can try to pretend like they're white people, as though the white people didn't know that they weren't white, singing their songs with their olive oil in their hair, taking our women.
They're not white. They're wops.
Yeah, well, we Irish don't get along with them because they took all our jobs. I'm also part Irish, by the way. So does that make me more or less oppressed? I don't know. It depends on the magical little rules that these progressive social justice people just make up on the spot to fit their narrative.
Yeah, but you know what? Fuck them. They're wrong.